Louisiana rental laws govern the ins and outs of residential leases, from landlord-tenant rights and obligations to the terms included in a rental contract. Knowing these laws well can be extremely helpful in making sure the tenancy runs smoothly without conflict. In this video, we'll give you an overview of what the state law says about lease agreements, required disclosures, security deposits, and eviction. We're eForms, the largest online database of fillable legal forms. Check out the link below to access a fillable lease agreement template. Let's first go over the basics. What is a lease agreement? A lease agreement is a rental contract between a landlord and a tenant. Depending on the type of agreement, whether it's a month-to-month lease, a standard agreement, or rent-to-own, both the landlord and the tenant are bound to the specific terms regarding the length of the lease, termination, and more. Because a lease agreement is legally binding once it's signed, breaking the contract can result in hefty fines or even legal action. Next, let's take a look at required disclosures. In Louisiana, there are no state laws that require the landlord to make any disclosures about the property. However, under a federal requirement, the landlord must provide a lead-based paint disclosure to the tenant if the property was built on or before 1978. Now, let's take a look at security deposit laws. In Louisiana, there is no maximum cap on how much the landlord can charge for a security deposit. As for returning the security deposit, the landlord has 1 month from the lease termination date to send the funds to the tenant. Finally, let's cover Louisiana's eviction laws. In Louisiana, a landlord may evict a tenant under the following requirements. Non-payment of rent. If the tenant is late on rent, the landlord can issue a 5-day notice to quit. They can decide whether to give the tenant the opportunity to repay the rent or to make the notice incurable, meaning the tenant must move out within 5 days. Non-compliance. If the tenant breaks any portion of the lease other than late rent, the landlord can issue a 5-day notice to quit. The landlord can decide to give the tenant up to 5 days to cure the violation or require them to move out. Termination. If the landlord wants to terminate a month-to-month lease for reasons other than non-payment or non-compliance, they must provide 10 days notice to the tenant. Want to learn more about Louisiana rental laws? Visit the link in the video description for a comprehensive breakdown on all things related to lease agreements, evictions, and more.